Hey, everybody. Wait, Jason's really tiny.
No,
Hold on
you're
just
fine.
a second. You're like this big.
No, you're fine.
So, he just messaged our guest. Yesterday we had talked to him, and I think he might have gotten confused with the time zones. We're going to wait and hear back from him because I did talk to him earlier today at about 2 something, and he was like, "Yay, sounds good. Awesome. I'll be there."
Mhm.
So, did you message him?
Yeah, just we don't need to reply.
Okay. Sometimes people with the time zone thing, it gets confusing, especially when you have so many different shows and so many different time zones. And I don't even remember where he's from, but he was Mountain Time, so he's
You
going
know,
to have a time difference.
Utah,
Utah. Oh,
I believe
wow.
that's where it was. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't really know anything about Utah. Hey, everybody. See our guest. Look up. No, it's Bette Midler today. But she's not going to be live. Only her voice is going to be here. I'll just cover it up and I'm her. So we're not sure. Hopefully our guest will join us in a little bit. We think he might have got confused about the time difference. Not quite sure yet because yesterday we had talked to him and he was a little bit uh confused about the time difference. So thank you everybody for showing up. We're gonna do the show anyways. And
Of
when he
course.
shows up, we'll be like, "Oh my gosh, we just started! Welcome, Larry! Yeah, wait, this is welcome, Larry. Wait, wrong side. Welcome, Larry.
There we go. There we go.
Welcome the sloth chimp. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So if anyone wants to share, that'd be awesome because I didn't share yet because I was anxious and nervous and yeah, and signatures. So we're going to talk about pick a subject. What are we going to talk about? Horror movies, scary movies. What do you want to talk
Yeah.
about? Music.
Sure. We'll talk about horror stuff. You want to?
What's your favorite horror movie, Jason?
Um, that's a tough question. Um, it goes back from all the iconic horror movies through Nightmare on Elm Street to you know Signs. Signs is probably one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
That's probably one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, that wasn't a scary movie. It's like, but it was if you really look at it.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
Scary to me, anyways.
It was,
13 Ghosts. That
yeah,
13 Ghosts is probably one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
yeah, I really like that movie. I like
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard. He's
It's the Jackal. That's why I was scared. But then the Juggernaut's scary too. The Hammer, he's scary. The
yeah.
Twisted Princess or whatever. All of those things were all of those people were scary. I thought
I think
really
the
scary.
characters were definitely there, but I don't know. It's about it being a scary movie for me.
Yeah, whatever. It was scary. If that jackal came after you and clawed your face up, your ass would be scared.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't sit and act like you wouldn't.
No,
Huh?
that'd be pretty scary. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a real person. It was like that in real life. And then turned into a spirit that was the same way afterlife. So
Hmm.
that's even scarier to think about those spirits when they were alive, that they were like that.
Right.
That was them. They were just dead and they were ghosts. But they were just the same as who they were already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what
That.
makes it scary.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like look at the torso. I don't really
Right.
know how that works. Hey Vicky, that's a new person. I haven't seen you before. How are you doing? And Facebook user. I don't know for sure who they are yet because it depends on what page they're watching from. But hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. 13 people that are here. We're talking
What's
about
up?
13 gifts. That's my favorite number.
That's a
Favorite day of
little.
the year.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Oh, we dropped one. Now it's the 12th. The 12 days of Christmas. Is there a scary movie about that? The
Um.
12 murders of Christmas.
It probably is. Yeah. I don't know. Um, yeah. I'm sitting here in my office and I got Hocus Pocus playing on my TV in the office. So.
I'm going to highlight some of the comments.
But
I'm not sure who this is, but I think it might be either Terry or it might be Robin or Jess, one of those three. And hey, Jennifer Lee, long time no see. How are you?
what's up, Jennifer?
Hey, Adam and Mike. How are y'all? And I did tell our guest that if he wanted to play some songs on here, he can also. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure he'll probably
He's gonna
sing.
tell
That's,
himself that he's setting up all of music equipment. That's what he's probably
I mean, it could be. Um,
done.
hopefully, something like that. Hopefully, nothing's bad's going on there. But
While we're waiting, I want to go ahead and put this info out because I told on behalf of Stephen and George and all those jazzy people that I would do it. So on April the 23rd from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., Unity, social and investigation, dinner and drinks are included. This includes a roundtable discussion, a private investigation, 2 different buildings, and native Cherokee Indian land.
oh,
On
that's our
native
backyard.
Cherokee Indian land. Huh?
So that's our backyard.
Yeah, but it's not anywhere here.
Native Cherokee
It's
land.
in Mineral Wells, Texas.
Oh, well, yeah, it's down there where the Haunted Hill House is and all that stuff.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the Basin, was it the Basin Motel?
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't it the Basin?
The motel, Basin, the
Yeah,
Basin
I
Motel.
think it was.
Yeah, right next to it. So roundtable discussion, April 23rd, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Be there or be square, and no one will talk to you ever again if you're not there. Sell
Right.
this thing out. Roundtable discussion, private investigation of 2 buildings in native Cherokee Indian land. Purchase tickets online at texasscaregrounds.com. That's all one word, no spaces. texasscaregrounds.com. $50 online, $60 per person at the door. So get them now, and they're $10 less per person. Guest speakers, Phoenix Jensen, George and Kara Shoplin, and you all know them as Pun Mama and Pun Papa, Stephen and Crystal Woodard from Paranormal United Network and from Fearfest. Why am
Yeah.
I so far away? I'm
You
totally
know,
trying
all
to
of
sound like a commercial person or radio, like a disc jockey.
all the peeps. Yeah, that's
Vendors
pretty
are
cool.
also neat. If you want a vendor booth, the vendor booths aren't they're not too bad. Vendor space is available for only $20. Text vendor
Hmm.
to, and I'll type this in the comments, 817-819-6773. Again, if you want a vendor space, there as little as $20 for a space available. Text the word vendor in all caps to 817. Is that not that number,
Hmm.
Jason?
Yeah.
That's my number. 817 is my number I see every single day of my life for like the last, I don't know how many years. So text vendor to 817-819-6773 for more information or to reserve a booth. And the address is for this amazing event. If you can, Baker Hotel. It's a Baker Hotel, dude.
Hey, it started with a B.
I said the Basin. I think I was thinking like the Basin Motel that's in Eureka Springs. It's the sister hotel of Crescent.
Right.
Yes, the Crescent Hotel. You can do like and I'm actually, my brother is friends with all them. And he told me he's going to hook us up with a double investigation on both those properties.
Yeah, I know they control both of them, so that's cool.
But the weather was kind of nasty there for a while when I
Yeah.
talked to him last. So he lives there. He lives right up the street. He's friends with all them people. And I told him that we wanted to do an investigation of both of them and he could go with us.
Yeah.
So if he hooks us up with double investigation, he gets to go with us for free.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um,
No problem with that.
Address for this amazing event, the Parent Unity Social and Investigation, and the dinner and drinks included on April 23rd from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. The address is 831 and 832 Hood, as in Robin Hood, Hood Road, Mineral Wells, Texas, 76067. And it is right next to the Haunted Hill House, or not right next to it, sorry, very close to the Haunted Hill House in the same town. So you could do this event and then see if you could book the Haunted Hill House while you're in town too. You could double whammy. And then
Yeah.
you could even do the Baker Hotel possibly if they're taking investigations. I'm not sure if they are or not. I haven't seen anyone go in there recently or in the last like year. I might be wrong. I just didn't see it. If someone's gone there, correct me. But you could probably set it up where you could do Haunted Hill House and this amazing thing at the same time. And
Yeah.
Jess is totally punking us out.
I think,
Terry Tech.
I think when we were down there doing the Haunted Hill House, that the basin was, or I think it was closed.
I think it was under renovation at the
Yeah.
moment. They were doing some renovation.
Right.
Hello, Jerry and Steven and all you other beautiful, amazing people that are here. If you have any questions, let us know. Our guest is still not here. I hope he gets here before the show's over. I think he might have got a little bit confused with the mountain time versus Central Standard Time. But as
Yeah.
you know us, most of the time, the show must go on. We are going to probably take a break for one Monday after the end of this month is over. Hey, Jess, there you are. Green haired girl. It's not Harley Quinn, it's Poison Ivy. So after the end of this month, I haven't booked anybody because I talked to Jason and I was wanting to still take guests and still do interviews, but to start doing like a seasonal thing where you do like a month of talking about just conspiracy theories or maybe longer than that. I really want to do a podcast over conspiracy theories. I think there's an endless amount of things you can talk about. And even if it was just me and Jason, we'd have so much crap to talk about conspiracy theories. I think that it'd be a good thing to do several different shows of it like that. And if guests wanted to come on and talk about it, if we could get maybe we could get Mike Rogers on.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah. We could ask him.
Pretty interesting, you know. He's pretty interesting.
Let's highlight some of these comments and interact with all you people that are here, giving us your awesome energy. Phoenix,
Yep.
George, they're gonna all be at this event. I think I don't. Oh, they're just. I think he's tagging people. And Jesse, and Terry are here.
It was
And
on
they're
April, right? That event.
April 23rd.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see Garth again that night. So sorry, guys.
Hey, have you done anything on the old Winter Hotel? I actually don't know where that's at. It'd be cool if you told me. Old Worcester Hotel. Okay. I thought you were local, but I was like, I've never heard of the Old Winter Hotel, but that sounds like a really cool name. No, we have not done anything on the Old Worcester Hotel.
No.
There are actually some locations we've been wanting to get into that are in Hodgen area and Heavener area. There's some stuff that my mom and my grandma had told me about some old buildings there. Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Anywhere local, you know, it's pretty cool.
But I will look up the Old Worcester Hotel and see.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
I'm actually glad my internet is working because it was storming and I was having a problem for a little bit. So I had to go back and come back in, and then it didn't really mess up after that. I had no bars. The storm outside. Hey, Penny.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Saturn.
You know, if there's anybody else watching from the Dallas area in Texas and everything, I know it got pretty bad down there. So
Did it?
yeah, that should super thunderstorms down there with some tornadoes and
Yeah. Oh, there's a new person, another new person. Hey, new person. How's it going? So we do we're trying to get into a sanitarium. Jason's working on that.
yeah, going back there.
In Arkansas, huh?
I said, yeah, going back there. We've been there.
If we can get in there, that's where we did our first investigation at, an overnight and a full weekend investigation. If we can get in there, that'd be awesome. If anyone wanted to come down and go with us, we can take up to so many people. I think we have 3 or 4 girls from here that are local that are going to go with us. I need to double check with them when we actually get in. If you want, you should go ahead and like follow up with them and say, "Hey, we need
I
to fill
have.
that.
Mm,
We need to
yeah,
fill that application."
yeah, I've already done all that. So
You didn't? Okay. Yeah, we need to get in there because that is like a very awesome place to go. Just the experience and the personal experience, the personal, um, just the experience, I guess, that a person has or that I had when I was there is probably my favorite of all, even more than Haunted Hill House and more than Waverly. Waverly was pretty close, but Boonville, I just liked it better, I guess because it's local and it was a sanitarium. And one of our team members ran screaming like a girl out of the room, which was pretty exciting.
That's pretty funny. Mm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's that place is it is active and it's a pretty cool location.
Yeah, Boonville is, yeah. But also there's another place I need to try to get a hold of. But there were three people that had wanted us to do residentials, and then we tried to book and set up a date and time, and
Right.
still haven't
Yeah.
gotten to do those yet. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if
Right.
they're actually even going to all agree to want to be uh,
It's
publicized.
well, it's odd that way because every one of them has reached out to us, and then they
Yeah.
just, it's kind of weird how it's working out right now. So.
Yeah, he said what happened when they ran out screaming. You want to tell the story? Because I wasn't there that night. I had to go to drills. So Jason was there and he was firsthand on the scene.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I believe we actually have footage of it somewhere. If you want to look up our videos, it's somewhere on there. Um,
We do. Oh,
but
on the Night Terror Collection page.
yeah, it might be on our. I don't know if it's on. It might be on a group page. I don't. It should be.
It's on there.
Yeah. But anyways, what happened? We were in this sanitarium. We're in the basement part of it, and we're looking around. We have the SLS camera. Just see if we can spot anything. And we got something in the corner of a room, and we're kind of focused on it, trying to communicate. And it would disappear rather quickly when we got close to it. Obviously they like to do that. They want to hang around when we're around, but there was an instance where we were able to uh, get close to what we were filming on the SLS, and it was in this chair, and one of our team members went up there and got closer and closer, and finally got close enough to where they could touch if he reached out his hand, and they did, and he reached out his hand, and instead of grabbing his hand, it grabbed his pants leg and grabbed his leg and was like clawing into it, trying to pull itself up, and he felt that and just jetted and like he ran out of the room all the way down the hallway, all the way back up,
Like that.
screaming,
Like a girl.
screw this kind of deal, and then. We're sitting there still continue on with our investigation, and we're just next thing we know, we're asking where he went. Where's our guy? And then, yeah, he was nowhere to be found. He was up in our base camp area. So he's like, "Yep, no, enough of that." But it was really funny at the time, and just to see it and hear, and also get the documentation of what we were interacting with and what we were doing. So, but yeah, it was really funny actually. So, and you can't see it on the on the camera. You can't see it where it grabs his leg and stuff. You can, and then he just I'm gone.
Getting the bag of tricks here. Um, and then Saturn said, "Is it on the page?" It is on the page. You have to scroll back quite a bit. Do you remember what month that was? It
I honestly don't.
was
It's been.
around Halloween or fall.
I don't remember when it was.
Was it like October or November or September 2020?
Yeah, around there.
So it would have been around that time. It was probably fall ish 2020. So if you scroll, it'll probably have some kind of a. And she said, "Hey, Valerie,
Mm.
we have a team member that took off like that. It's always a little hilarious. It is hilarious, especially when you get it on camera because that doesn't happen often enough. It just seems like everything cool and funny, and then bloopers, but they don't
Yeah.
have it on camera. I don't
Yeah.
know. I know that I hear like, well, I mean, they probably have editing and stuff. But remember when Brian and Rochelle, several times we've talked to them and I've seen them do interviews, they have talked multiple times about Brian falling all the time.
He does, so yeah.
But it's not always on camera. So if he falls all the
Mhm.
time, sometimes they just don't, they must not just get it on camera, they edit it. So
Right.
yeah, the bloopers aren't always on live and you don't get to see them all the time.
Yeah.
Know how it feels to be touched by a spirit. He said it felt like spider webs, like
Yeah.
like hair, like in your face, like hair. It felt like that on his legs. Something grabbed his leg. He said, and it felt like hair.
Yeah. Yeah. He just, I remember him describing it to me as like he was getting like grabbed. So he just like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have F bombs on our show, you guys. I mean, I think I said the A word or the SH word, but also I have kids around, so I don't want my
Yeah.
5-year-old going to school saying, "Blank you, teacher," because he'll get kicked out of school again. That's not what I want. I want him to
Right.
learn, him to be there. I don't want him to be having to homeschool, even though I love him being around me all the time and I like teaching him good stuff.
Yeah.
Not curse
We,
words, but huh?
yeah, no, we try to keep that to a minimum. It does slip out every once in a while when we're on here, or it definitely slips out sometimes when we're on investigations. But you know, just try to keep it kid friendly too.
Oh yeah, did Terry scream and run too? Hee. What happened?
That's
On
pretty
an
funny.
investigation? That's funny. I'm good on other folks' show. Thank you. So I brought my cards. I don't know why, like I brought them and got them all ready. Drink your own juice, Terry. Pulp free. Ugh. That's an inside joke. It just makes you think about like raw eggs and a bunch of body fluids or nasty stuff you don't want to think about. But I don't know why. I just felt like I needed to get this all together. These cards. Maybe Spirit was telling me our guest was going to be taking a nap right now on accident instead. Alabama
No, no,
Graceland got me, huh?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have if I'm on here, like I said, I can't message him. But
No, no, I haven't got a message back or reply, so I can just really see if someone has looked at it or not.
hmm, I'm going to
We're just gonna turn this into a karaoke show. How about that? Let's see.
do
He
whatever.
saw it.
That's good.
He's looked at it.
He's getting stuff ready.
Maybe because you sent him a message. What'd you say?
I told him we're ready for him.
Okay. If he sends you a message, won't it pop up on your screen?
It should.
Okay, I thought so. So I'm hoping that means he'll pop on here in a little. We still got an hour left. So that being said, we're talking about bloopers and weird things that have happened when we were investigating. We've also, what about Broken Bow? You want to talk about Broken Bow when you got stuff thrown at you?
Oh yeah, we were at the Broken Bow Asylum. That's in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and we were just there after doing. They were doing some renovations and everything, right? So um, we were going through there, and we get to this one part of the building where this male spirit is always at, and apparently doesn't like other in the area.
His
Uh,
name Andy? I feel like his name was Andy or something like that.
I wish I could remember. I don't remember what the name was, but we were in there, and we decided to go in the room where he was supposedly. So um, we're in there just asking questions, and we're talking amongst ourselves, and um, next thing you know, something flies through the air and hits me in the shoulder, hits me in the left shoulder, and this came from like a far back corner, and it had some, it had some strength behind it, and it just fell down. I'm like, what the hell is that? So uh, as soon as I bent down to pick it up, it's this really big piece of glass. It was a it was a really good sized chunk of glass, and it just hit me. I'm glad it didn't hit me in the face, but hit me in the shoulder, and then of course, that's doing what we do. And we've been doing it long enough. We don't just run out of there. We're just kind of wanting that kind of thing to happen again, but it it didn't. But it was really exciting and it was cool, and um, We tried to get it to do it again, but it didn't. But because I guess it used enough energy that it had to throw that at me. But those kind of things happen, where I get tugged on or whatever, wherever we're at, something. But usually more physical things. And that was pretty interesting. So I mean, it was cool, like knowing that place has got some legitimate activity going on. And it, it happened when we were talking amongst ourselves. So which is crazy because a lot of activity that you do pick up on is like that. Like when you're not really paying attention, yeah. But yeah,
Does anybody want a card pool? Anybody want a card? I haven't done this in a while. They're just flying everywhere. They're just like, woo, jumping out at me. Somebody's here message. Spirits of light and positivity, goodness, archangels. Do you have any messages for anybody? Terry wants a message. So does Amelia. All right, Amelia, this is for you. First, we got Amelia, then Terry, and then Chris. I'm going to start writing their names down. Okay, Amelia. A balance. Take everyone's input into consideration. Merge viewpoints to create a better solution. Take your time. Don't get in a rush to make a decision on something. Don't get anxious and make a decision while you're anxious. Sure, why not? Stephen wants one too. There's some energy needing to be released. I feel like it's probably wanting to control some kind of situation or anxiety about something and wanting to like this. Does this make sense to you? Like you want to control something, but you don't want to make the move. You don't want to take the step. You don't want to make the decision because then it's out of your control once you do, and you don't control what happens once you do that. Does that make sense, Amelia? And then strength is upside down. It's in reverse. So that means that once you actually release this need to like hoard this decision and just cattle it, you will have some strength coming in and you can call on some spirit guides, the power of kindness and forgiveness. Time to embrace how wonderful you are. So remember how wonderful you are and have confidence in yourself when you're making this decision and go ahead and make the decision based on what you think your higher good. Oh, wow. See, I said anxiety. You're tapering off a medication for anxiety. It's saying that you'll be stronger after you do this, after you release this. So release could mean detox. And then you'll be stronger after that because it's holding you back and keeping you stuck from your own inner strength. All right. Chris was next, I think. Or was it Terry? Let me go look. Terry. Terry and then Chris. And then Stephen. All right. I got 5 decks of cards here and some Zoltar cards. From the little Zoltar machine that you got me. I'm not sure where it's at right now, though I had to hide it from Lincoln.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool. That was a pretty cool little machine.
Huh?
So that was a pretty cool little machine.
Yeah. Well, the cards don't go in it; they just come with it, so you could shuffle them and use them like tarot cards. Whoa! They're just flying out. I don't understand. This is jumping like jelly beans. For Terry, something is like somebody's like, "Woo, yeah, let's mess these cards up. They're backwards and they're all kinds of directions. Dang, what the heck?" That's actually never happened. Wow. Not unless my kid was playing with them. Woo.
Do you have your little planchette handy anywhere?
I do not. Nope.
No.
I'll show it next time. I'll show it next time. I don't usually do these right here either, so something's flying out for you. All right, Terry, what's going on? 7 of summer and the 10 of winter and the 4 of summer. So let's see. Don't procrastinate. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from overanalyzing some options. So don't get stuck in your head about something. Don't overanalyze things. Don't overthink everything all the time. Don't get stuck, like focus too much on something or obsessing on something, and not take action on it. The resolution of difficulties, a weight's going to be lifted off your shoulders, the end of an addiction or codependency. So that can mean anything. It can mean a person, situation, a way of being, a pattern of behavior, breaking the codependency of some kind of relationship, being distracted and failing. There he is. To see magical opportunities, take someone or something for granted, disoriented with life.
Is he
We're
good?
going to Larry!
What's up?
I was doing some tarot card readings.
Oh, nice.
We
Yeah,
just
I was
killing
like,
time.
here, I'm manifesting him. He's going to show up. I know he is.
Of course.
What are you doing?
Hey, is this do I sound okay? I just have my headphones on my computer.
Yes, you sound good.
Okay. Great.
You're good, and we're live right now. You're joining our show, so
Yeah, everybody's excited. They've been waiting on you. There was like more viewers that I've seen on the number counter than I've seen ever, I think, on our show.
Gosh. Well, hey,
Like
we're
23,
breaking numbers over here, huh?
Yeah, we usually have about 18, and it was like 24, 25, I think. So
Hey,
I was like,
that's awesome.
what? And if anyone has any questions, this is Larry. I put in the description all of his different things that he does, but do you want to tell a little bit about yourself, like some of the things you've done and some things you've starred in and what you've been doing lately?
Yeah, sure. I guess some of the highlights have been obviously Hocus Pocus. Um, Before that, I started acting when I was like 12 years old. So I had done a lot of TV commercials. I did some Sizzler commercials back in the day. I think the Sizzler, when Sizzler was more popular, and then I went on to I think my first guest star was on Mr. Belvedere, if you remember that show.
Really? Yeah, that's crazy.
And I got to work for the first time with Seth Green. He and I, we were both the bullies picking on Wesley for his lunch money. So I guess I've always been a bully. Apparently, at least a lot of my roles over the years have been kind of bad guy roles or bullies.
Maybe you made so good of a bully that they just wanted you to be a bully in every movie that needed one.
Yeah, I think I just look like a jerk, you know. I got a punch face, as my brother would call it. No. Anyway, but then eventually Hocus Pocus came around, and I was like 16 or 17 when I auditioned for that, and booked that role, and that kind of changed my career for the better. But then about a year after the movie came out, I left for a mission on my church with my church for 2 years.
Yeah.
And so I was in Argentina for a couple of years, which was an amazing experience, and I wouldn't change that for the world because I really grew up a lot. I got back in the industry, and then I think my next big role was Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
My favorite show ever.
Which was so much fun working on, and that was one of those another one of those sleepers at first. I think people that liked it, but it took a minute to catch on. And my character was in seasons 2 and 3, and I got to play like a gay football player. So I was still a jock, and I was still a jerk, but I just happened to be gay.
And a football player this time, so you were multitasking while being a bully.
Hey, one of the lines that in one of the scenes was, "I'm so gay, I got my grandma fixing me up with guys."
Oh my gosh, how funny!
That was wonderful, Joss Whedon, who's what a great writer.
I think he's a genius. Yeah,
he really is. Yeah,
everything that I've seen that he's ever done. Anyways,
I agree. So anyway, not to keep talking about myself, but it is about me.
It is, yeah, it is. Everybody came here to listen.
I did bring an additional 4 listeners today, so if you would allow me.
Right.
So then after that, Walk the Line eventually came around. That was another big break in my career. But I've worked on all kinds of TV and film, and another cool film I got to do was called Saints and Soldiers, which was one of those independent films that it got nominated for Spirit Awards and won over 15 film festivals, and kind of an audience choice. So I've had a really good time, and I continue to work, and I'm grateful to get to do something that I really do enjoy and get to meet people like y'all along the way.
Someone said, "Nice beard."
Thank you.
And Chris said, "Great movie."
I got it over at Costco.
Costco.
Yeah, I got a 6-pack, so and this one fades.
Is that what they call the bully beard?
The bully beard, I like it.
Right.
I just call it try to keep my face looking like I have a jawline still,
Yeah, right. I have to put some makeup, like darker makeup.
Right,
yeah.
shadows.
A little bit, you get 40 years old. And
Yeah, it happens.
Got a little bit of stringy skin there, man.
Don't let this bully Rose for you. He's a nice guy. Just letting you know.
I am. Usually the guys that play the meanest guys on TV are probably generally some of the nicest people you meet.
Yeah, that's good. When did you start playing music or thinking that you liked doing music or being a musician?
That's a great segue. Well, let me tell you, Walk the Line kind of turned me back to my music and the focus again once again on the music. I'd always played music, sang. I love I was in choir in high school, and we did all the different show choir stuff, and it was a great way to meet chicks, believe it or not, and and it was a great way to learn how to to learn all these great musical numbers and all the great artists and all those great songwriters and harmonies, and I fell in love with music early on. My dad played in a dance band. He played the accordion growing up.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
He started when he was 9 or 10 years old, and he was an incredible musician. Played accordion, which was like a one-man band, and but he had a little 3-piece, and they made a lot of money through the years just playing church dances and events. So we all got up and sang, and it was just part of what we did. We didn't mind being on stage and entertaining. So that's where I got my feet wet in music. But it wasn't until Walk the Line that I was all of a sudden working on a film that was mostly, musicians that could act, not just actors that could sing or play. That was the first audition we went through. I had to pass a musical test. They just wanted to see that you could sing and play and get a vibe on the music. And then the second audition, the callback, then we did the reading, in which I auditioned for Marshall Grant, the bass player. So it was being on that set that just lit me up. Not only that, but learning the Johnny Cash music. I went back and started listening to all the Johnny Cash tunes, and I fell in love with those, and I fell in love with the outlaw country, Waylon, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Willie Nelson, like just all the outlaw country, and that kind of just a matter of fact. I kind of my voice sounds like I've been smoking and drinking my whole life. It's just kind of a worn kind of flavor.
The raspy, dark cowboy voice.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a little bit baritone, I would say. It's definitely in the baritone range. Yeah. So, and that's where country music is right now. So I recorded my first solo album right after Walk the Line, and then I've recorded 4 or 5 albums since, and I've just released them. Self-released, and they're all out there online. We're working on another album right now to be finished hopefully by summer, or if not by fall, and then I'd like to get out and get touring again. I've had the opportunity to open for Glenn Campbell, Hunter Hayes, Luke Bryan, who else? Kevin Bacon and his brother, which is a great actor.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
Hal Ketchum a few times.
Oh wow, that's old country.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and anyway, the list goes on. And it was just a couple of venues that liked what I did and knew that my music fell in that genre pretty well.
Yeah.
Kind of awesome that you fell into country music too, because we're from Oklahoma, so like country music is right up our alley.
Yeah, you know, I grew up in Southern California, where it was, you know, it was always more like Boys to Men, and you know, Snoop Dogg, the LBC, like some good rap and R&B, and also the, you know, all the hair bands and Nirvana and all that stuff. But I could appreciate the Sun Studio stuff because I grew up listening to. I was always an Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, that whole
love them
Sam Phillips kind of flavor. I love. So when I was introduced to Johnny Cash properly, it was when I worked on the movie, and then I just grew to love country music, all country music.
Right. Now, was it cool, like, you know, being up there and having the experience to see, like, Joaquin Phoenix doing his thing, like, while you're, like, I can't believe this is happening kind of deal, like, watching him do his art?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, from the get-go, he and Reese were kind of the first big stars kind of my age, or in my age demographic, that I'd worked with on a film like this. Obviously, Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker, they're all great legends in their own. But I was a kid, so it was I was just nervous and, you know, just happy to be there. But getting the opportunity to work among these great actors and great filmmakers, Jim Mangold, and you know, and even the cinematographer, what's slipping my name? His name's slipping my. But anyway, Faden Papa Michael, great cinematography. So I was just like sitting there, and I remember the first time I met Joaquin, we got together at his house, which was up in like Laurel Canyon somewhere, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it was me and Dan, the guy who was playing guitar, and I felt so stupid because I kind of just kept catching myself going, dude, that's Joaquin.
Fanboy, like, were you fanboying it?
Well, he's one of those actors that like everybody, you know, respects as far as his art and his commitment. Like I've never seen anybody like that can adapt to that is more chameleon, in my opinion, than Joaquin Phoenix. Like I remember even Gladiator, I'm like, he's such a different guy in real life than the Gladiator.
That's the movie that pops in my mind, and Signs,
everything. It's just like you're like his voice. It's like he envelops his characters. So, and you know, a lot of these movies you see, he's got contact, but he's got these intense eyes, blue eyes, you know, and you're just like, and he's really cool, but he's very introvert. You know, he's got it to himself, and so it takes a minute to get to know him. But we all hit it off pretty well, and then, you know, after a while, it got a little more comfortable, and then Reese comes knocking at the door, and it happened again. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, now I got to get over not only somebody that I admire and respect, but now that I have a crush on. Who didn't? She was so adorable and so
she still is adorable.
And she just, you know, she helped carry the film, I think, in many ways, as far as the spirit there of Johnny and June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone said it's hard to be any cooler than the Man in Black. Funny Cash.
Yeah, and you know, little backstory there. I guess Joaquin and Reese both got to meet John and June before they passed away. This project had been in the works for 6, 7, 8 years before it got made, and
that's awesome.
They both had approved them to play their roles of them. And I remember Joaquin saying he was just tripping, you know, having dinner with Johnny and June, and they had, you know, had a nice dinner. And they went and sat on the living room he pulled out his guitar, but before they started playing some music, he goes, "Look, Joaquin, I got to tell you, I mean, this is a horrible Johnny Cash, but Joaquin, you're horrible. He just said one of my favorite movie scenes you ever was when you like something really dark, like when you killed your father. That was so good, dark. And he's like, there's just the fact that Johnny kind of just could appreciate it was almost the darkness and the light were so, so close with Johnny. Johnny was as good, the good and the bad and the ugly. And I think the essence of Johnny Cash was captured perfectly by Joaquin Phoenix. You wouldn't think when you first saw the guy or looked at his height or his stature, and he's not even really a musician, but he learned how to play. He learned how to sing. His voice dropped, and he became like, we all literally were just like stunned, as the movie went, and to watch these performances right before us was amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they both did good singing in that movie. I think she did too. She sounded really June Cartery.
She really did, yeah. But I mean, for her, I don't think it was much of a stretch in her Southern roots.
Yeah.
She's from Nashville, and everybody claimed to know her in Memphis, because they claimed her as their own. So we had to kind of sneak around that town. Of course, I didn't. I was like, look who I'm with, But
they don't know my name now.
They were trying to keep a low profile, and I had no problems, meeting people. I think I'm a little bit probably more outgoing than most musicians or actors or comedians in person. I mean, there's a lot of personable people, but I've always just loved people. So just happened to fall into a craft that something I enjoy, and then I get to enjoy the, getting to know new people because of it, which is great.
Traveling too is always good, like meeting different walks of life.
Keeps life interesting for sure.
Yeah. One of the people, Andrea Renee Smith, said, "Hey, I just visited you in Arkansas, Annie and Ema."
Oh yeah, hi. How are you guys? I remember signing. I remember because when you write things, not just the faces, but then you remember the names, and I remember those spellings in particular.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? And I see she's right there, right? And
Andrea Renee Smith.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to meet you guys too.
Yeah, that's cool. You're from Oklahoma too, so.
And follow our paranormal page, Not Terror Collective. It's in Oklahoma too.
Yep. She follow that.
If you ever need anything paranormally. so I had some. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you want to circle back around to Hocus Pocus for a bit. Let's talk about the the iconic scene where you're in the graveyard and everybody knows y'all. You're talking. Where you first get introduced as ice, and was that all written down, or was there any ad lib to that, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Most of it was written. It was always written very cleverly, and the ice thing was always there. Us popping up behind the grave from the graves was there. So the scene was set for sure. If anything, we just tweaked on a couple of things. One for me was that originally we were smoking in the graveyard before he comes. I don't think the line was, "You got any smokes?" But I personally wasn't comfortable at the time. I mean, I know now as playing a bad guy, and there's certain things you have to do. I don't really kill people, but I've killed people in shows and things like that. I didn't feel comfortable as a kid, even smoking or fake smoking, just because of my religious beliefs, and I just wasn't comfortable at the time. So I just asked Kenny, the director, if there's any way we could change that to like us maybe asking for smokes instead of smoking. And he was cool with that. And I think that actually also helped in the end, kind of like Doug was talking about with when they open his mouth, he says, not witch, but witch. Those things, those little tiny things could have changed that Disney logo to Touchstone, or it might not have released the same way. It might not have been more, as kid friendly. So some of those changes happened. We also worked on, as we got going, especially that first graveyard scene, Tobias and I had kind of worked for a little while before, because we came from LA. We had some time before we left on the plane and traveled before we shot the next day in Boston. So we had worked out a couple things like the chest bump and, some of the, some of the fun stuff that we do. That's like, or like
Right.
when he starts laughing at me, I don't think that was in the script. When he's like, you learn to breathe through your nose. He just thinks that's funny too. And I look at him and he's like, So some of that playful stuff kind of happened, but Kenny was really the mastermind, and he allowed us to be creative, but he also brought things out of us, and he adjusted if something was too big. That first day, I think I was kind of real excited, but I come off of I kind of based this character on Grease. I played Sonny in the musical Grease, and I was kind of a same kind of guy, like a rouster. And, hey, I'm gonna put him in a body bag with that kind of like, did you get any friends? Did you got any friends? Did you get down in the sand, Travolta? So like I had that laugh and that bully kind of developed in this musical Grease. So when I got to do the film, he just pulled me aside after we'd done our first take, and he just said, Larry, so wonderful. You're so brilliant. You're awesome. Just bring it down a little bit. Remember, this is, it's not like stage, because he came from stage and choreography and everything's bigger, right? But he's like, your camera's right there, and they catch everything. And even too much movement, it's hard for the frame to adjust. So that was my first big lesson in film, especially with somebody that, like a great director and great cinematographer and all these things. So I quickly adjusted and thought, okay, just got to just take it slow. And, and it got more and more fun as we got more comfortable with each other too.
Yeah. And I was, I guess I don't remember if I watched something or if I read something about like you had to have that word ice in your hair for like a while. Like,
yeah, it was, I think I had to have it shaved three different times, where I went down to a barbershop off of Wilshire and 6th, like the real deal. And so they initially put it in, and then once we started shooting, if it was, we were shooting a week or two in a row, then the makeup could just carve out, make sure it was fresh. But then we'd take sometimes a few months would go by, and then we'd have to come back because our scene would come up, our next scene or a different scene, and so then I'd have to go back and get back in the chair and go through the process. And it was different, it was a little challenging trying to roll around. I basically kind of during the day I would roll around like that because you couldn't see, in my real life. But then when I went to church, I had my I didn't wear a hat, and I had a lot of lookers, a lot of judgment, wondering what rap group I was in or what gang I was in. And I'm like, you'll understand when this movie comes out. I'm like, oh, sure, you might want to go see your bishop, pal. So
it would have been like, this is the first religious rap music artist.
Yeah. I was joking that
I don't know. Frozen.
I was joking that in a sketch I go back in to get the word ice shaved in the back of my head again because I want people to recognize me, and and they start and they think that I said my name, so they shave an L in my head, and then I'm like, no, ice, and so they shave ICE after the L.
Oh,
ice.
What
lice? No, I was just saying. So lice is, when you get the
lice. That's okay.
I'll stick to the acting, not the comedy.
Or right, that was even funnier. Right, I don't know. No, Rice would be funny. They'd probably think it was just your last name. They'd be like, oh, his last name. His last name's Lois.
Now it says, did anything magical really happen? Anything magical or really strange happen on set?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there probably was some stuff going on there that people talked about, or for me, that was just magical that I was there. that was strange enough for me. There was definitely a vibe and a feeling in the cemetery and in Salem area, like, because we were right there in the middle, and it did feel a little haunting, but not in a bad way, just kind of a historical, creepy kind of, just knowing and knowing that these things happen for real there.
Yeah.
And that they had a museum there and stuff, which we didn't get a chance to go through, but we'd like to go back. I think we'll be close enough this year at one of the cons in maybe New Hampshire that we might be able to go and take a tour of these places that we filmed, or some of the iconic spots there. I know there's, I heard that Sarah Jessica Parker found out later after she filmed the movie that she has ancestors that were witches.
Really? I can see that. She has a
And
witchy look.
yeah, there could have been,
They all really played really
somebody
good
in
witches.
her. Yeah, they
Yeah.
really did. So there was some connection there, and yeah, and I believe me, I very much do believe in the paranormal activity. I've had some interesting things along the way that just impressions, good and bad and scary, and so that does exist, just as we exist, and as good people exist, like we were talking about the other night. Bad people, just like there's jerks on earth, there could be jerks in the spirit world, and I think it's still a constant battle of good and evil here on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was just like you were talking about, like we were talking about the other night when we were, it's the same thing, like what you just said. It's just, it is that way. You're a jerk. No reason to think you're not going to be a jerk in death. You're the same.
Yeah. Or maybe you hear about these stories, and there's a lot of consistency in these books and stories of when people either go to the other side and come back, or see them die, and they're in the hospital room, and they see like doctors and nurses, but then they see other family members and other people kind of passing through, helping, and some people hurting other people there. I think when they talk about, you go back to certain places, there's a feeling or something happened bad there. Maybe that person wasn't allowed to move on until they clear the air with whatever. And so there's maybe some kind of punishment, or just something that has to happen before they're able to move on to a better life.
Yeah, and you guys use a real cemetery too, right? You hung out in real cemeteries.
Yeah, they added, the tombstones we were jumping on, so that's maybe why we didn't have any curses on us at this point. But yeah. I see this question down there about people do. I've heard of that too, like that people are never the same after they do a horror movie. I know there was some stuff with Poltergeist, some freaky things that happened to those kids, and
even Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
Oh, is that right?
Heath Ledger.
Oh, was that? Yeah, of course that happened. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's. I think there's definitely. I think when you play too close to that line, if you're asking to open up those gates, and it's not, it's not something you should be messing with, that there could be some haunting that goes on, or some cursing after that. But I think we're all also capable of setting ourselves free through the right access, if you believe in God or believe in a higher, greater thing.
Right. Now,
amen. Amen.
Right. Exactly. We were talking about
watching videos about that today. Yeah.
We were talking about time differences the other day. Now, where are you at exactly right now?
I'm in Orem, Utah, which is near Brigham Young University. Is here in Provo, BYU. Where Steve Young went to school. And McMahon was also a quarterback. Jim McMahon from the Chicago Bears was quarterback here. Great football team, great passing team, in particular. Great quarterbacks have come from here. But also the Mormon Church. It was established. Brigham Young was the second prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints after Joseph Smith, and established, settled here from Missouri.
I didn't really actually know that.
Yeah.
I like to
And
study religion history and like church histories and just go to our old churches
yeah,
in different places. I just like to stand in them and take photos of them and just like feel it, like just kind
yeah,
of like I get that feeling of whatever that church is. I'm Episcopalian, but I like a lot of different churches and a lot of different church bodies or whatever.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's all meaningful, and it's all directs us to the same place, hopefully.
Right.
Terry said you need to come on their show because you were in Hocus Pocus and they do a witch show. And she said the witches would love it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me know. I love witches too, I guess, huh?
at
I married a
least,
few anyway, ex
at
witches.
least he likes working with them and then maybe not working with them anymore. No.
All the
He
So
likes to wear
spells they
witch.
cast.
I know.
What was that?
I know Doug Jones told us the other day about it is confirmed that he's reprising his role as Billy in the second one.
Yeah,
And then I was just curious, I mean, are you really excited about seeing that and what they do with it?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad it finally got made after all these years. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
years, 20, they've been talking about it for real for the
25
last 15
years, I
years, it
think.
seems like. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know David Kirshner, who was behind the first. He's very passionate, and I think he put a good team together. I'm assuming maybe Mick Garrison's involved as well. And I'm not thrilled that they didn't bring Kenny back to do the second, because I think he really made the first the beautiful thing it is, the how it dances in it's like
Yeah.
it's a classic, just like everything Kenny touched. He's so ahead of his time. I think that was the problem with that movie, but it's all caught up. And even Newsies, that was his first big film with
Really?
Disney,
I
and
love that movie.
that became
Really well.
musical on stage, but it was the same thing. It didn't do all that well initially, and then Hocus Pocus was the second film, and I think they cut him at that point for the third film that could have maybe happened, whatever that was. But he came full circle, and then got to probably ask for a lot more money when it came down to the High School Musical stuff, and
Yeah.
and then he proved himself again and again. So
Yeah, it's just like we were talking about the other night about how Hocus Pocus, when it started, it wasn't really that big of a deal, then like it's just caught
Wasn't
on.
it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
caught
she thought it
on
was going to turn
time.
out that big.
Yeah, now it's this
yeah,
huge thing.
yeah, it's definitely it's a fan thing, and thanks to social media, people can really speak their minds, and people can talk about the things they want to talk about. And I remember when it first really hit, that this movie was really popular, and maybe it has been, but we didn't know it until I remember it was on Twitter. It was the number one top thing on Twitter the week of Halloween. But that's all people were talking about.
Yeah,
And when you know that the whole world's kind of come together on something that they all can appreciate, and that you happen to be a little part in that, that's pretty cool. Be part of pop culture that
Yeah.
way.
You get to wake up the Halloween spirit in little kids and grown-ups everywhere every year for the last 20-something years.
Yeah, and it's
Pretty
really it's a beautiful thing for us too, because for me in particular, just the personal nostalgia of that time for me. What a fun time. And I was talking to Tobias, who played Jay, my bully friend in the movie. We have so much fun, and it really does. It's like riding a bike. You get back together with old friends or old family, or just people that are like-minded, or your spiritual friends, right?
Yeah.
And we just pick up where we left off, and it's always been so fun. We just joke around, we laugh. I mean, even like we try to fly if we can. When I lived in LA, we would always try to fly together on all the flights, but now I'm in Salt Lake, so we'll try to, like, if we have to do some kind of layover, we try to at least catch a flight there or somewhere in between, so we can catch up beyond the
Yeah.
time we have. And every time we're in an airport together, we just think of the first time we were ever in an airport together, which was flying to Boston to shoot Hocus Pocus. And it was
That's
first
cool.
class. We got picked up in a limo. They dropped us off in a limo. They
my
gave us
God.
all like money for per diem, right? This money, like
Yeah.
hotel. We could order room service, watch whatever we want. It was just, and we just had a blast, and it still feels that way, even though we both obviously older, and he has children, and we all have our lives. And
How old were you guys then? If you don't mind.
I was no problem. I was 17, I think, when I started working on the film. He was 15. Funny story, true story too, is he grew up not too far from where I grew up, which was towards Ventura County. I was in Thousand Oaks, and he was in Santa Barbara, which is about 35, 40 minutes from each other. So pretty close on the suburb side of LA, even further, like from Los Angeles. So. And when his mom found out that she could turn him over to me as an adult, because I turned 18 while we were shooting, and she signed off consent that I could be his guardian. So you can imagine, like, now his mom's not there. Like, I get to make sure he's taken care of. So we just we're like, I can't believe they're letting like the blind lead the blind here. This is gonna be great. So we had a lot of fun. If you ever talk to him, ask him that question. Make sure you say, Larry wanted to make sure you knew that he was still your guardian.
Oh yeah.
She never unsigned that paper.
Right.
He still has it. He just never told you after all these years he kept it, so he could just spring it on you one day when you forgot about it.
Yeah, I take care of all of his money and everything.
Right. Yeah. He messaged me earlier, so we're gonna get him on the show and stuff too. So.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We can see definitely the chemistry between you guys the other night when we were with y'all. So.
Yeah. It's always it's just the way it is.
It kind of looks like in the movie too. You kind of were dressed still a little bit like in the movie too, sort of.
Oh, who we were?
You guys kind of had that same style from that or whatever. Like him, kind of like the tougher, like wearing the biker jacket.
And I'm still wearing orange and color. I'm still more the rapper, and he's medallions and all kinds. It's funny how we get our style, and it's funny how people that even our costumes. I think it was up on MTV's like 90s greatest fashion, icons or something.
That's funny.
Like, well, the orange pants. Okay. Well,
hey, those were totally big.
Look at this. Check this out. As a matter of fact, hang on.
Those are real big men.
I found this hat. At I think it was Nordstrom Rack.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. For real.
That was more or less what it was, right?
Yeah. Here we go.
How many times I gotta tell you, my name ain't Ernie no more. It's Ice. This is Ice.
I'm so glad you did that. Let me have that hat. That's hilarious.
That's perfect, man.
That needs to go in the commercial for this one, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
That hat. She's like, yes, the girl that met y'all from Oklahoma. Yes.
I got all kinds of hats. What do you want? You like that one? What do you got? I got this one.
Are you a Dodgers fan or Padres?
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, he's got
Dodgers
it.
What do you think?
Yeah. I have one of those hats.
I mean, seriously, what do you think?
That hat right there. I have.
That one's got.
I got it in San Diego at a ball game.
My buddy Johnny got me that one. Right, that's the world. Yeah.
Mine doesn't have that on it. I went to a ball game one time and watched the Dodgers and the Padres play. And got a hat like it looks like that, but it doesn't have the World Championship on it.
Oh, you know what? Want to hear a fun story about that? I'll go back to it.
Dodgers
is you know what though? When I'm I can see myself with the thing. I think I'm getting as I get older. I'm not trying to be that guy. I just can't get it straight anymore. You know, like I noticed, like sometimes I'll sometimes do that. Like my dad used to like just like dad hat guy, like up like this.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Is it straight enough?
Yeah, looks good.
I need to put
I have
an
a flat
arrow
bill
or
too, and
something.
I don't know how to wear it because I'm 41 years old, and I'm like, I'm a 41-year-old soccer mom rocking a flat bill hat. What's up, y'all?
I always say, this was my old joke. This is Bagby. That's my last name. Bagby. Douche Bagby.
That's hilarious.
So douchey, like sideway hat. The only person that really got away with that was Vanilla Ice. Now he wears it straight again. So
right.
Yeah. Does he wear hats still? I don't know.
I think he does. I've seen him wear. He wears a lot of hats.
For a long time.
He actually seems like a pretty cool guy. He aged pretty well too. So my San Diego Padres story is I did a commercial with Brett Butler, who had been traded to the Padres, I think at the time. But we shot the commercial in San Diego. So after we got done doing the commercial with him, he gave me a signed baseball glove and then gave us tickets to his game that night. It was pretty cool.
Oh, awesome.
Really cool.
Padres Stadium is beautiful too.
Were you a teenager then?
Yeah.
I was. It was after. No, I was probably my 20s. So
yeah,
this was really fun. Is that about time you would have been in baseball?
I'm double checking to see if there's nobody after us. That way I can go ahead and play some of your music and stuff. There's nobody after us tonight, so it ends in 15 minutes. But if we go over a couple minutes to play some of your songs, that'll be okay because there's nobody after us.
So let me ask you this: did I get the time wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you guys said you were starting at 8:00 Central.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Central Standard Time. Which so I can't tell you the
wouldn't that have been? That would have been. Oh, that would have been 7:00.
It should have been 7.
I remember you asking that, and Tobias answered you, and I didn't really know the time zone that you're in, and he said Mountain, and I think he said the answer.
Oh
Wait,
let me check. I'm going to check because I thought we said we would go. I thought, and so I apologize because I was actually getting on for the half hour early StreamYard, so I thought it was 7. I thought it was 8:00 your time, which meant. Wait, you said 8:00, which meant 7. I gotta see what time it is right now.
First, to me, it gets confusing, and I even have people that come on here from the UK and Ireland and Scotland.
So what time is it there right now?
It's 9:17,
and it's 8:15 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So you're an hour before
I was an hour.
7 there.
Oh.
It's okay.
You guys know I was just in Arkansas, so I woke up this morning and I slept until I felt just fine and so good. I slept until almost like 1:30.
Yeah,
and I was like, I must have been tired. And then I thought, okay, I have till. I thought to myself 7:30. Okay, I messed up then. Sorry.
We're good.
Oh, you're good.
We're good. We're all good. So I do have a question for you about something from the movie, though. When you guys were sitting there and doing the scene where you had to call the witches ugly, how'd that work out? I'm just curious.
Well, you tell me. Where did we end up?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Your Bette Midler's walking in front of you. Oh, you got to say that line. I'm like,
oh man. Okay, so that was another one of those lines. Speaking of, was that in the script? The initial line was get your shoe out. Get your face off my shoe, bitch, basically.
Oh yeah.
And that was another change we made, which made sense. Mm-hmm. So all those little changes that we made didn't have to happen in editing and us going in and having to overdub or anything. So that was good, and that was fun. It was nerve-wracking because it was the first day we had worked with the witches before we started doing the cage stuff and they're inside, which was I think a different time, but it was a lot of fun. We shot that one, and someone asked us recently where was that shot, and that was I think that was the back lot of Warner Brothers, there in Burbank, It was just like they have this cool backlog of all these houses and neighborhoods. And I believe that's also where we shot the pumpkin scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun, man. It was just like it was exciting for us to have some interaction that way with the the big stars of the film, and they were really nice to us. They made us feel good and talked to us in between stuff. And it was a fun night when we shot that scene. Now I did have an experience which I've shared a few times with people, so those that have heard this, you can just tune out now. But I had a video camera. I started making movies when I was 12 years old. After the first film I ever did, I got enough money to go buy a video camera, a VHS-C at the time, probably about $800 or something.
I promise I'm not ignoring you, by the way. I'm just making sure both networks are cool that we're going to go over a little bit. I always tell them to make sure it's good.
Cool.
So go ahead, keep talking. Sorry.
All right, no problem. So so I had this camera. So anyway, through the years, I kept getting, I kind of advanced, and I finally got this really pretty cool camera. But it was kind of bigger, but it was a Canon A1 digital. And I don't know if you remember this, but it had this kind of like slow-mo kind of movement. So it's like instead of 24, 30 frames, or it'd be 24. So it looked a little more like a film gain up, they called it, So I just brought my camera to set, and I was just filming in between, and we entertain ourselves and make movies. I have all this behind the scenes footage of us at the hotel in Boston, messing with kids, going into their rooms, knocking. Omri's there, Vanessa, Thor, we're all playing, hacky sack in between takes, just chilling, going up, talking to people, interviewing them, what I always did growing up and having fun. And one day I had the camera on set when we were filming some of the cage stuff, and it was just the witches. So I had some time. I'd already eaten all I could eat at craft service, which is where we get all the food. And I moseyed over with my camera, and I decided I'm just going to film them rehearsing or whatever. And next thing I know, I see, I have my little eye in the lens, or looking at the monitor, and I see Bet like catch the lens. I'm like quickly, I'm like, oh gosh. And I hear Kenny, hey, what's going on over there? Who's filming? I'm like, sorry, Kenny, that's me. He's like, Larry, you can't just film. This is a closed set. You can't have any of that. Please don't do that. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I did not know. And then I'm like, oh, so we went back and watched it. I'm like, oh, if looks could kill. I was very intimidated already, but they have to protect themselves. It could have been Access. It could have been anybody. TMZ at the time. I don't know if they're around, but that idea, right?
Or like a terrorist reporter or something.
Sure. You just never know. It's like, do they have permission to be filming this?
Paparazzi stalkers, whoever.
Yeah. So that was exciting.
That's cool. Yeah, you have that. You have that footage. So,
Yeah. We've shown some of it, but we're trying to do something creative with it. We might just release it in segments on YouTube, or maybe we'll make it part of, just so it's more special. And I mean, I'm sure it'll eventually get out if we're showing it anywhere. But like maybe show some of those clips in a panel.
Oh yeah.
So it's more special for these people to come out and want to see us in person, because they're going to see some exclusive, unseen footage from behind the scenes on the movie.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Our other thought is maybe to try to connect with the people that put together, they're probably going to do a 30-year anniversary DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever. Yeah. And I would imagine there'll be a lot more behind the scenes stuff on that. I'm hoping. And Hocus Pocus 2, I think that's only going to make this our movie, the first one, bigger. Yeah. And people are going to want to. It'll. I think it'll just create more excitement, and hopefully we'll continue to enjoy this journey.
Hey, Courtney.
I know everybody loves the movie. I love the movie. Rosie loves the movie. Everybody does.
Yeah, we watch it year round. So does Terry. She said her grandkids do. I have a 5-year-old and a 17-year-old, and she got an autograph. She's watched it since she was little up until now still watches it.
Right. Yeah, your kids are real sweet. What's your older daughter's name again?
Piper.
Piper, of course. I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
She came back for Tobias's autograph. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's sweet. Anyway, you guys we appreciate you coming by and getting to know us better, because it definitely made me be late today. Okay. Hey, at least I'm here.
Are we gonna play somebody's music?
Yeah, someone had a question. I was going to ask it real quick and then do that. You may have just answered this, but if there were anything you can change about your career, what would it be? You have been in some amazing movies. From Chris.
If I could change anything, I would have been here an hour ago.
Good answer.
Right.
Hey, by the way, I got this yesterday at the.
That was a cool booth.
Did you see that booth?
Yeah. That's Leatherworks and the necklaces. They had good work.
I got this too. Look how beautiful that thing is.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a gear kind of.
It's like Aztec, like a sun of the year or something.
That's cool.
Anyway, so if there's anything I could change in my career, I'm really thankful for and grateful for all the things I've been able to do. There's always those things I never did anything that compromised my moral standards, which I'm so glad. There's been work that I've done that wasn't very good quality, and you hope for the best and you try to give people a chance, directors or people that want you to be a part of their projects. Sometimes things don't pan out, and you don't particularly want to be promoting that stuff because it doesn't make your brand look professional. But overall, I've been very fortunate, and I've kind of been led by by the Spirit, so to speak, by God. I think in the roles and the things that I've done, and it's been it's been a lot of fun and interesting, and it's allowed me to get to share my feelings with people about life and get to share my music, which is a big part of my life, and hopefully help them in that way too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good answer to that question. I think, I think like she said, the person said that you've been in some great movies and you've done some pretty cool things in your music, and it's all good. I mean, I like it all. So,
thank you.
I did want to say.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if she's going to play this or not, but I did run across your version of Silent Night. I really liked it. So that was pretty cool.
Thank you so much. That was one of those songs. That's one of those songs that's real close to my heart. Like, I guess if I had to pick the one song that touches me most, it's that one in my life, and that actually kind of became a real thing, or something it really mattered for me when I was on my mission in Argentina, serving there. My first Christmas away from home, and I'm in this foreign land, trying to speak a foreign language with somebody, a companion. We always have a companion, somebody I don't really know that I didn't particularly like, because he wasn't a very warm person at the time, not just knowing that I was going through a lot, transitioning. And I was making at the time we didn't have phones or, FaceTime. It was a audio tape, recording an audio tape for my mom and dad and family. And I was just telling them how much I missed them and how hard it is, and I'm struggling. And then I said, but I'm gonna try to get through this. I'm gonna try to stick with it. It's supposed to be a 2-year mission, and I was about 2 months in, maybe actually more like 4 months in, I think, because I left in April. So I said, I'm gonna leave you with this hymn tonight. This is my favorite Christmas song, and I sang Silent Night, and I just got the warmest feeling that came over me, and felt God's presence, and I knew my purpose there was to let go of myself and try to serve others for a few years, and that helped me get through that Christmas and got me through the next few months, and then it's helped get me through my life. So I recorded that song, my own version of it, over 10 years ago, but I finally did a video for it just this last Christmas, and we just lost my dad in 2020 to COVID. And he
I
was,
just lost my dad not long before that.
yeah, I'm
hard,
sorry.
hard,
I'm
hard.
sorry. Yeah. And he was my name, same name. He was Larry Bagby, Lawrence Bagby Jr. I'm Lawrence Bagby the third. My grandpa was the first. And now he's back with his parents and his sister. But, leaves us here on this other side. My mom and him were married over 50 years. And I have a brother and two sisters, and he was our rock. So, but we feel him, and I knew that was something that my dad always loved. That he loved that Silent Night, and so I said, as a tribute to my dad, especially, I want to do this video. And we felt his presence in a real way since he passed in many ways, and a lot of good impressions and a lot of blessings have come since he passed. So we know he's still there. It's just we miss hugging and talking, seeing him every day.
Right. Yeah, I totally understand. Well, man, I think we're gonna play some of your music here.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna wipe my eyes too. When you said the dad word, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. It's such
That's
a real,
okay.
good,
This
powerful
actual
thing.
last week has been a really hard week. Like I thought I smelled him and felt him standing behind me. It was weird.
Yeah, I even at the convention there was a moment somebody was talking.
Mm-hmm.
It might have even been you, Jason. And I had this impression I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
that's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's a powerful thing. And so talk about the paranormal. Like I said, there's good and bad. But if we keep on the sunny side, I think we have the power of our ancestors and relatives and all those great spirits that are connected to us, that have gone before us. They can help us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
And I also check myself sometimes and think, what would my dad or stepdad do? They're probably watching me right now, and they're probably going to shake their finger at me if I do something stupid. So
Right. Sometimes you're
use it
like,
as like
maybe
a
I
little
wish
check.
they weren't watching, but
Yeah, it probably is, and they're not happy. So
yeah.
trying to
But
highlight everybody's
we always kind of know, right? And it's like when we start asking ourselves those questions, it's kind of like when I lost my dad, all of a sudden I realized it's like the relationship I have with my Father in heaven, with God. Now I have a father, an actual father that I knew on earth that's in heaven. So when I pray, it's still, I know my dad's there listening, especially, so I always.
You better stay away from Teresa Caputo, or you'll be getting like a message from him unless you want one.
Right.
Good point. Amen.
Yeah. I really like the Counting My Lucky Stars song. I've listened to several different ones, probably 5 or 6 different ones. But like I actually listened to that multiple times while doing laundry, and for some reason it was very relaxing.
Oh, cool. I would love to claim that I wrote it, but I didn't, but I did sing it. I sang that one on the show, Cold Case, that had all of Tim McGraw's music. There was an episode that had all of his music in it. So they wanted somebody that had a similar tone in their voice, which was flattering to think that I sound anything like Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw he's been around for a long time.
He's kind of a classic voice, right? Classic country.
Yeah.
Another guy that I've really admired. I like his music and his standards. So I did that, but most of the other stuff that I sing is I write myself, and that's it's all close to my heart. Whether
Did
other
you
people can.
Lonesome Highway?
Yeah, I did.
I like that one too.
Thank you. We just that's my next video where we've got about half the video done. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're shooting that one where I used to live in for a moment in St. George, all the Red Rock. So
Oh wow.
I'll send you a little sneak peek of some of the footage that we have. But yeah, thanks. I'm glad you liked that one too.
I'll play part of Counting My Lucky Stars, and I'll play part of the other one.
Okay, cool.
All right.
If you want to make your business stand out, let's launch it with your raps. Watch me. They look like okay, we'll start with the logo.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. Do I need to turn my thing off or anything? We're good?
I think so. As long as you don't have to.
She knows I'm back for more. In through the sliding door. Then Russell let her come to me. I rushed to meet her now. We found each other somehow.
I hear an echo, but
Counting my lucky stars tonight. Lying in loving arms.
I'm having
And it feels alright. Counting
I don't
my
hear it.
stars. I hear the beat of another heart. Lying in loving arms tonight. And it feels alright. Bedside candles softly burning. No place we gotta go. Red price on the stereo. I'm sharing loving words of kindness. My nerves are settled now. The fever's left my brow, and I'm counting my lucky stars tonight. Lying in my arms, and it feels alright. I'm counting my lucky stars. I hear the beat of another heart. Lying in loving arms tonight, and it feels alright. My nerves are settled now. The fever's left my brow now. Counting my lucky stars tonight. Lying in loving arms, and it feels alright. Counting my lucky stars, I hear the beat of another heart. Lying in loving arms tonight, and it feels alright. It's alright. It feels alright. It feels alright.
Okay.
Hey, so I gotta tell you, there's a echo on that pretty good. So
I don't know how to change it because I don't hear an echo.
no, I don't want to like put you on the spot, Larry, but do you want to sing something?
I could. Yeah, I could sing a little something. You want me to do that?
Yeah, that would be awesome
Okay.
if you want to.
Let me just grab my guitar here.
It will definitely get rid of an echo. I am now a big fan.
I'm not sure if it'll sound as good with this thing plugged in or not, but we could try. You guys tell me.
Okay.
You hear that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
sing you. How much time we got?
You can go for quite a while. They said there's nobody after this period, so if you want to
Okay.
play like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it's up to you.
I'll sing you a whole song. How about that?
All right,
Okay.
good, yeah.
Just tune this up here. That'll work. All right, here we go. I'm gonna sing you. There's a song that I wrote. Kind of with looking for my next victim. I mean, my next wife. Am I better off? Because if I can unplug this, it'll be better for me in my ears. No,
it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah,
is
you're
that
good.
all right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I can only hear myself in one ear. Because it's hard to hear.
Yeah.
This is a song I wrote called "Behind Every Good Man, There's a Better Woman." I think about my mom and dad with this one. With my dad's amazing. My mom, such a wonderful woman, supported him, supported all of us for so many years too. I'm on a mission. I've got my conditions. I'm holding on tight. I've seen some ladies, made some feel crazy, but I'm holding on. It's gotta feel right. I'm holding out till I know, and I'm hanging on. Love I can control. Behind every good man, there's a better woman. Behind every rich man, there's a richer woman. Behind every sad man, there's a woman lying in her bed, crying out tonight. Woman that will stand there by your side. Behind every good man, there's a better woman. Well, love is the question, but love is the answer. Love won't take long if the love is right. I love you in good times. I love you in sorrow. I love you today more tomorrow. I'm holding out till I know, and I'm hanging on. Love I can control. Behind every good man, there's a better woman. Behind every rich man, there's a richer woman. Behind every sad man, there's a woman lying in her bed, crying out tonight. Woman that will love her man and stand up for his fight. Woman that will love him all his life. Behind every good man, there's a better woman. Woman, woman. A better woman. All right.
I can't hear everybody else clapping, but we can clap. They can see
Yeah.
on the screens.
That was awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
song too. I like the lyrics.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I like that song a lot. It's fun
Thank
to play too. It's also, there's certain songs on the acoustic that sound better, and that's kind of a fuller sound to it,
Yeah. It was good. That was good, man. Mhm.
I could just sing all day long, though. It really does. It does. It is such therapy. It's funny after I do, whether
Yeah,
it's
it is.
an acting gig or I'm spending a lot of time like doing something that's not music, even just our, conventions. It's nice when this is how I refuel. I go back and I usually either try to write or play or sing. Just kind of relaxes me and lets me know I can go to bed.
Meditation almost.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
cleansing of the bad energy and bringing
Cleanse this body from its sin. Yes.
Right.
You're like, get rid of the Twinkies that I ate for lunch.
Yeah. Or yeah, that too.
The coffee cakes, the ho-hos.
Ho-hos. What about
The
the
ho-hos.
crocodiles? Remember those?
Right. Yeah.
No, what are they?
Chocolate covered Twinkies.
Yeah.
Chocolate, right?
What? Keep those
You're
away
too
from me.
young to understand our hostess ways.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No, I'm 41. I'm older than Jason, ain't I? I'm like, you're older than you.
Well, I
I'm
just turned
older.
40. So,
I
yeah.
just turned 40. Well, I turned 41.
Okay,
Yeah.
man.
Older
I
than
just
you,
turned
wiser than you.
I just turned 29 then. I'm gonna go
Right.
$1.
There you
$1.
go.
No, I'm
Everyone
48.
says
I
you
just
did
turned
good.
48.
They all liked it. You got a woohoo and a I love that music. Somebody that played with Eddie Van Halen said you did good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a compliment. Eddie Van Halen. Oh my gosh.
My mom saw him in concert. That's some good stuff.
I love Van Halen.
Yeah. Jump. Might as well jump. No. That's something else.
Ow, ow. Yeah.
Okay. No. So, what's your current projects and everything you're working on right now?
So I did a movie. Just I have a scene in a movie, I should say. And I don't even know. I haven't seen it yet, and I don't know, how this stuff works. I could end up not in the movie if for some reason they edit the scene. But with Mark Wahlberg, it's called Father Stew.
What?
Comes
Mark
out.
Wahlberg?
Yeah, so I got to work with him just for a day, but I worked. It's pretty cool. The director, she's Mel Gibson's current girlfriend, or I don't think they're married, but they have a kid together. Rosalinda, she's amazing, and she's a screenwriter and a This is her directorial debut, and they've been all working together on this. She was really wonderful to work with. It turns out my cousin's actually doing very well. He actually got a project. He's been a screenwriter, and he's been having some success. He connected with Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson liked one of the scripts or some of his work, and so they rewrote a version of the West. What's it called? Wild West. What is it called? Wild Bunch. Remember that movie? Old. The Wild Bunch, but I don't know if it's going to get made because there was some change in the upper hands there at the studio, but anyway, I assumed maybe when I booked this little role that my cousin had something to do with it because they're all friends, and they didn't even know it was the day I was shooting. I called my cousin. He's like, "No, I'll let Mel know," and Mel texted her, and she came up to me. And she goes, "You're Brian Bagby's cousin, of course. How did I not know that?" So that was a nice way to go on the set, with somebody that knows you and trusts you.
That's pretty cool.
So I did that. I worked on a show called the last TV show thing I did was in Atlanta a while back on a show called Dwight in Shining Armor. It's a really cool, fun show on BYU Network, but I think it's with the Paramount distribution. And then I've got some stuff coming up, but not really sure if I can talk about that yet. But still working, still available, always available.
Right. Good.
We never know our next job. We always feel like we're unemployed because we kind of are from job to job. But I'm just glad things keep coming somehow, some way, even with COVID and everything.
Yeah, of course. Then you got a question there. Rosie, do you want to read it? I can't read it.
Yeah. super cool. I missed a little bit of the show, but I have a question. How small were those cages you were in Hocus Pocus when you were getting spun around and poked?
What'd you say about my small cage? They weren't very big, but big enough to hold a couple of dudes like us. They even made when we did anybody see the 25th anniversary special on Freeform?
I
believe so.
saw. Was it with Vanessa Hudgens? Was that the same one?
Yes. Remember
Yes,
that?
I did. I saw
Okay.
it.
So the beginning is great. They let us out of the cages. And after 25 years, so we're stretching out going, after 25 years, finally, we're out of these cages. So we had to get back in those cages, not just once, but a few times to rehearse. And
Oh my God.
I don't remember having such a hard time getting my right leg out last time.
I
I'll
was
just
going to
tell you
say
that.
older bones, older bones.
I think I've gained a few pounds, and flexibility level is a little different. But they made them, they were big enough for us to just kind of chill in. And we weren't up there that long without, us getting down for a break.
That's cool. It's always cool to get the inside stuff on like that.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my favorite parts in the movie. I was telling Piper, get that photo for them to sign of them in the cages.
Yeah, I think so too. It's pretty
funny.
unique, right?
Plus, you're like, oh, they were bullies. They're getting what they deserved finally.
Exactly. And then on top of it all, he takes the shoes back.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm just a poor kid with sock. I need new socks, man.
Were they holy? Were they holy?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Someone asked if you're in the new Hocus Pocus movie.
I'm just kidding. I'm making that up. I'm just.
I was like, what? I thought you were doing that on purpose. Sounds like he's
the old Chevy Chase, he goes, sorry, gotta go. You know what? That we are not. At least the kids aren't, but the Doug, all the immortals, as Tobias would say, all the immortals are part of the movie. So the witches and Doug, who are already dead. I think it might be. It's a different generation, and I think it might even be a prequel in some ways, showing what happened before all that.
Like the new Scream movie.
Yeah,
which was awesome, long awaited, and exciting as well, being a prequel.
Nice.
Still brought back some of the oldies. I guess
I'm pretty certain it'll be top notch. I don't think we'll be disappointed. I think other people, there may be some that are just, old school and say nothing beats the first, but that's fine too. Regardless, it's still the same kind of movie, and hopefully people will enjoy it, and their children and their children's children,
So tell everybody where they can follow your stuff at.
Yeah, your CD, your music.
Oh, yeah. It's just, you can go to simply to myname.com, which is Larry Bagby, and it's spelled Bagby. So LarryBagby.com, and you can find pretty much, if you need to find all my social media stuff there. Larry Bagby Music is how you follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook friend page, but it's been full for years. And I have to go in, and if there's a new request, I have to go in and try to find those that have already either not deactivated their account or people I don't think I even really know, but I hate to do that. So there is another Larry Bagby Facebook page out there. So just if you have to kind of do a little searching for the one that will accept your friendship. I'm trying to keep up on the new one now. And then the best way is to follow me there. And Instagram, that's pretty easy. Just my name, @LarryBagby. Twitter, @LarryBagby. You can find all my music on all platforms: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Larry Bagby music channel, which I just made up, and Best Buy. I don't know. Costco and Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster.
But yeah, it's all available.
Toys R Us, which is not existing.
Right, Toys R Us, and also currently at Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr.
Oh yeah, with the tacos. No.
Hardee's. I don't know
Yeah.
what's left anymore. Jack in the Box. I don't care. Whatever.
Like I said earlier, we're gonna have Tobias on at some point, and I think it'd be cool like to get y'all together at the same time because that'd just be fun. So
You know, it'd be even more fun is if we can get him on there without knowing that I'm gonna get on there.
Yeah, that would.
And say, "Oh, I'm sorry, your guardian wanted to say hello." And then
yeah.
and
Yes.
I'll work out some kind of thing where I can make it look like I'm coming out of smoke, and I'm
Right.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
your guardian from the past.
Yes, and put a black cloak on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reveal
glitter.
yourself, and we'll put one of those voices
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
with like a little a scrambled thing on my face.
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna do that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. We'll do that, and then we're trying to get Doug on at some point too. So we'll see what that works out. But
That'd be
Awesome.
good.
I like. So is this what everybody's seeing here? The little Hocus Pocus
yeah,
artwork
Yeah,
there.
in the background, and then at the bottom there's a banner.
Nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. You guys, it looks nice.
Thank you.
I hope we did good. I hope everybody enjoys
We
it.
did. Thank you
I
everyone
did
for watching.
when you were
Not
playing.
good.
I went on and shared it while we were streaming. So
Thank
to all
you.
my pages, but you can let me know how I can promote it better next time, so we can make sure it gets out to everybody.
awesome. Yes, and we're looking forward to having him again.
And so, is this watchable after, so people that missed it can watch it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Good. And
They can watch it on
comment?
here. Huh?
Can they
They
still
can still
comment?
comment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They can
And
still
what's
comment.
this? What's this
and share.
weird thing called the World Wide Web? What's that all about?
Right. I know.
I'm
Yeah.
sounding like archaic. Now, can I get this on VHS or 8-track, perhaps?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And
Laser,
then
laser disc.
Yeah. Exactly. Our show's called the Spectral Sailor, and then we're from. We also have a paranormal team called Not Terror Collective. So
You can
for everybody
follow
to
those
check those
pages
out. Yeah.
and the YouTube, the Spectral Sailor.
Yep.
You
And
guys
then,
are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you for coming on and give us some of your time, man. It's really awesome.
Thank you. I enjoyed it too. Thank you for your patience. Sorry I was late, but I think we made up for lost time, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for playing the song.
Yeah, of course.